Hey folks, so here it is. I want to show you, it's a one-off, doesn't really have a name. I want to show you and explain the chisel. Why the chisel? Some people on Instagram already know it, why I sometimes do chisel. So one of the advantages of chisel grind is because the blade is not centered in the folder, you can actually have longer blade without the risk of, being able to touch the tip. So if you see where the tip is, it's literally 1/16 of an inch from, the top of the handle, the bottom of the handle, the corner of the handle, and yet it's impossible to touch. You can touch it, but you cannot actually cut yourself because that skin just cannot squeeze between, this bottom one. Don't mind the nails. I'm a knife maker. It's essentially impossible to touch the actual edge there, because that gap there is so small between that show scale and the edge that you just can't. And, if you were to do it V-grind, especially this particular one where the tip is so close to the top and the bottom and the end, that blade would have to be probably 3/16 of an inch shorter. So it lets me pack, very attractive looking blade and, very close 1-to-1 handle blade ratio into the design. Sometimes I do it just for fun because, it is easier. You're grinding just one. You're grinding off essentially the same amount of steel, but you are grinding just one, so you don't have to repeat it. And also, worth mentioning is, because I started having a little bit of fun with the chisel grinds year and a half ago, something like that. That actually let me, I started having fun like this and some crazy recurves. And because I, kept doing it, it let me train myself enough that I can actually pull off, grinds like this essentially on both sides, nice and symmetrical. So it has advantages. Also resharpening it, I always put a tiny little bevel here, your main bevel, your primary, or secondary is here. True chisel shouldn't have a little bevel here. I kind of have to because I love to leave that cold rolled finish on my steel. You see there the pitting. And if I didn't put tiny little micro bevel on this side, you would have that, the pitting there on the edge, which you don't really want to. So I do put a tiny little, but like really, you see how tiny it is, micro nothing. Which also translates to, if you need to resharpen this, all you have to do, you can literally swipe it once on 1000 grit sandpaper and it's going to be sharp. Because you're removing such a small microscopic amount of steel there to get the apex nice and sharp again, that it's, that's one more advantage of that. I think it's pretty cool. And here is, I think I mentioned in the shop update, that I call it Gnarly. Gnarly, Gnarly Blast, just in case you can understand me because I hate my accent. Gnarly Blast, it's a super aggressive sand blast. And you can kind of see, the one thing that since beginning that popped into my head when I see this is casted steel or whatever, casted metal, the look of it. And it's different than any other sandblast or bead blast I ever seen, so it's kind of cool. So here it is, interesting little one-off and short little video for you guys on YouTube. And yes, for the people that, you're alive and blah blah blah. Every single video in the last few years, even though it was very few of them, I said that I'm very active on Instagram. Yes, I am making knives. I'm making a lot of knives actually. I got my processes down where I've been doing good amount of folders. I love doing it. I found my passion in those folders. Makes me really happy, to be able to make something that you can just carry every day, because fixed blades you don't really get to carry every day. Some people don't, but folders, essentially almost everybody can carry and use your folder in your pocket every day, which makes me super happy. Guys, thank you. Take care, stay safe, and remember, don't cut yourself.